What if I told you you don't actually control the AI you're using? Yeah, you type the question, you press enter, it answers. So naturally you're thinking, my AI, my computer, my rules, not quite, because there are things you can ask AI where it can technically do them, but won't. There are things the company lets it do, but the law doesn't. There are things the law allows, but the AI doesn't have access to. And then there are things AI has access to and still manages to completely screw up. So who is actually in charge? You, the company, the government, or is AI basically sitting in the middle going, can somebody please tell me who's my boss? But here's the part that really surprised me. There isn't one single leash on AI. There are several. And some of them are so invisible you don't even realize they're there. So today we're going to pull them apart one by one, and by the end, you'll know exactly who can tell AI no, and what happens when somebody decides to say yes. Think about what happens when a company builds an AI. They don't just create a giant digital brain and throw it onto the internet like, here you go everybody, please supervise yourselves. No chance. They decide what the system can access, what tools it can use, what information it can interact with, what actions it can take, and what kinds of requests it should refuse. Basically, the AI may have a giant brain, but somebody still decides which doors it gets keys to. And this is where AI gets hilarious. You can ask, write me a ridiculous story about a billionaire hamster. AI, absolutely. The hamster gets a mansion, a private jet, a cryptocurrency, probably a better investment portfolio than us. Then you ask it something it isn't supposed to help with, and suddenly, I'm unable to assist with that. Okay, but the hamster was fine. That's because the AI isn't just answering based on intelligence. The system around it has boundaries, and those boundaries can be different depending on the AI, the company, the product, the tools connected to it, and how it's being used. But here's where things get interesting. The company can say, this is how our AI works, but the company doesn't make the laws, which means there's another layer above it. And this one can say, actually, you can't do that. Yep. Government just entered the chat. Imagine you're an AI company. You spent years building something insanely powerful. You finally launch it. Everybody's excited. Your engineers are celebrating. Your investors are celebrating. Your marketing team has already made a video saying, the future has arrived. Then the government walks in. Nice future. We have paperwork. And here's the important part. Governments don't necessarily control the AI like someone holding a remote control. They can regulate how certain AI systems are developed or used. The European Union is already doing this with the AI Act. It's based on different levels of risk. Some AI practices are prohibited. Other systems, especially certain high-risk applications, have additional requirements. And here's something that just became very relevant. August 2, 2026. That's when EU transparency obligations under Article 50 started applying to certain AI systems. Those rules include things such as informing people when they're directly interacting with AI and requirements around marking certain AI-generated or manipulated content. So imagine this conversation, AI company, look what our A can make. You, great. AI company, it looks completely real. You, that's exactly why we're talking. And that's the big difference. Something can be technically possible without being automatically legally permitted. Your car can technically go much faster than the speed limit. Your microwave can technically turn your dinner into volcanic lava. Neither means, please proceed. And here's where AI gets even stranger, because the you isn't the entire world. Different countries are taking different approaches, which means the same technology can face completely different rules depending on where it's being used. Think! The exact same AI, same model, same computer, same capabilities. Now move it from one country to another. Did it get smarter? No. Did it learn a new language of customs? No. The rules changed, and this is where things get messy. The EU has its AI Act. The United States has a different and evolving approach, involving federal policy, existing laws, and state-level rules. In fact, the White House's 2026 framework specifically calls for a more uniform federal approach rather than what it describes as a patchwork of conflicting state AI laws. So imagine you're an AI company. Engineer, we built the feature. CEO, fantastic. Marketing, let's launch. Where? Everybody. what, because suddenly the question isn't just, can we build this? It's, where can we use it? And that's a huge difference. It's almost like AI needs a passport. Purpose of your visit, generate some content. How long are you staying? Until the compliance department finds me. But here's something really important. Government rules are only one layer, because imagine every government disappeared tomorrow. No regulations, no AI laws, nothing. Would AI suddenly become completely free? No, because there's another thing controlling it, and this one doesn't care about presidents, parliaments, or lawyers. And that is technology itself. This is where people sometimes give AI way too much credit. AI can tell you exactly how something should be done and still be completely unable to do it. You say, go get that file from my computer. AI, sure. So go. AI said, I need access. Just go get the file. I still need access. And honestly, fair enough, if an AI doesn't have permission to open something, it can't magically reach through your monitor. It needs the right tools, the right permission, the right connections, the right toda. And the system around it has to let it actually perform the action. This is why AI autonomy isn't simply independent or not independent. It's more like a slider. Give AI one tool, it can do one extra thing. Give it 10 tools, now it's considerably more capable. Give it access to other systems, now you're talking about something much closer to an AI agent that can actually perform multi-step tasks. And that is where the whole conversation changes, because giving AI a brain is one thing. Giving that brain hands is something completely different. And once AI gets more ability to act without waiting for a human, we have to ask who decides how much freedom it gets. And believe me, that's where this gets really uncomfortable. So, let's put everything together. Who controls AI? The company? Yep, the company can decide how its system is designed, what tools it provides, and what restrictions it puts around the product. The user? Yep. The user controls what they ask for and, depending on the system, what permissions or tools they give it. The technology? Absolutely. No access, no action, no tool, no action, no reliable information. Well, good luck. And governments? Yes, they can create laws and regulations governing certain EIOSs. So when someone says EI can do anything now, that's actually a terrible sentence. The better question is, what is it allowed to do? Then, what does it actually have access to? And finally, can we trust the answer? Because those are very different questions. An AI might know how to do something, but not have the tool. It might have the tool, but not permission. It might have permission, but the law could restrict the use. And it might have everything, and still confidently give you an answer that's completely wrong. Imagine building the most advanced machine humanity has ever created, and the machine occasionally goes, "Trust me, bro." That's the part that should make us pay attention, because AI isn't standing outside the cage anymore. We're slowly opening the cage. More tools, more access, more automation, more ability to act without somebody clicking every button, and every time we give AI another capability, we move the boundary. So maybe the biggest question isn't, is AI independent? Maybe it's, how independent are humans willing to let it become? Because one day the conversation might change from, AI, can you do this? To, go do this. And when that happens, the important question won't just be whether AI is smart enough, it'll be who gave it permission, who gave it access, who is responsible, and who hits the emergency stop button if nobody is standing there. Now that is a question worth worrying about. But for now, AI isn't secretly running the planet. It's still got companies, users, software, permissions, laws, and apparently the occasional problem understanding what a Tuesday is. And if you think AI having limits is interesting, wait until you see what happens when those limits start getting removed. Because that's where things get really weird. Subscribe. You've already come this far down the AI rabbit hole. At this point, we might keep digging, so stay safe and see you next.